Blessings and welcome, my sisters and brothers, to the Law of One study group, conscious channeling of LL Research. I am Rueckert, your humble messenger, narrator of the Law of One. It is my pleasure to speak with you. I wish to speak of the devotionally lived life. Our discussions are for people who are willing to work with ideas about what point of view we wish to use in order to see our world more deeply and clearly. Perhaps we are physically better set up now to interact and network than we ever have been, but until we transcend the usual worldly attitudes towards others and towards goals of rank and status, we will be unable to find our way to devotional living in the midst of the rush of noonday life. We will be forever stuck on one thorn or another of the outer world and its catalysts. The beginning of devotional living is the decision to attempt, in each circumstance in which we are concerned, to live a life based on faith instead of fear, desire, will, and hope instead of details, facts, and personalities. The first vocation of each of you, by your very nature, is the vocation of living a life of devotion and faith. In this way, the deepest portion of your true nature is also the basic portion of the outer experience. When this attitude of mind, this bias or prejudice, shall we say, is realized within as a true desire, that which is within you of love has, for the first time, a voice. That voice is a voice which speaks in silence. The silent witness of a life lived by faith seems something that would not show itself to the world. Often it does not, in any obvious way. But the gift of each day's living of such a life is inestimable. It is never an easy thing for us to move beyond the outer setting and structure of a difficult situation and find the aspect of it in which the sacred nature of existence and the open-hearted love of our essential self can work its magic upon the outer picture. It requires a dedication of the self, a resolve of will, a persistence of effort, a choice, in short, to claim a degree of mastery over the outer world. Let not your heart be troubled. This is under your conscious control, if you choose to claim the mastery over the self. Work when you can towards that point of balance within which you are able to see clearly, not removing yourself from the thick of things, but rather bringing into the thick of things that sacred aspect, that relationship with the Creator within. An attitude is only one word, yet this attitude is the key to the spiritual devotional life. For all things are sacred to the one who has the eyes to see, the ears to hear, and the heart to understand. It is the burden and the glory of those who do live a religious, spiritual, or devotional life to live on two levels at once. For the level of the outer world is indeed the either or of service to self or service to others, and the dynamics of that life are unforgiving. Yet still, within these outer appearances lies an inner reality which only the heart of humankind can know or experience. Remaining aware of the salient outer details and functioning completely on that level, and at the same time living by spiritual and ethical principles and the invocation on a constant basis of open-hearted love's clear path through our energy systems is most subtle work. Seeing others as souls when they are such efficient mirrors for catalytic action is a powerfully difficult challenge. Because one needs to live that which one has learned, it is most often the case that the one who too quickly undertakes the higher spiritual, the neglect of the spirit child within which was born in each entity when each entity first chose to seek the truth with all of its heart. This willingness to heal and accept our child within is essential if we wish to release ourselves into the open heart in a safe and confident way. If we think of the spiritual self within as being born, when we awaken within incarnation to our spiritual identity, and gradually maturing as we work on ourselves, our attitudes and emotions, we can see that this inner spiritual child will need continuing help. Every time we get off balance because of the catalyst of living, we will be vulnerable to being pulled off our center of love within the open heart and into the wilderness of the chaotic outer picture. Then our insecurities will surface, letting us know just what work we do have to do right now with that inner child. Perhaps in the rush of action, we cannot make the time for this work at the exact moment we generate the situation and receive catalysts. But each day finally ends, and we can promise ourselves to reflect and work on what has occurred as we relax and get ready to rest for the night. As always, my chief recommendation in this regard is some regularized form of meditation, contemplation, and/or prayer. We encourage each, so, to arrange the daily habits that the center of being is given respect and pride of place within the daily life. As always, we suggest a daily meditation, a turning in and out of season towards that infinity, which is the unarticulated love of the one infinite creator. The challenge for each wanderer is to be able to dwell in this particular illusion, to enter fully into the process of becoming a transformation, yet remain at the center of being, consciously turning again and again to love itself. The devotion inherent in the desire to turn to pure love is powerful. And I encourage us to hone that desire to rest in the open heart. At the same time that I caution us against becoming so focused upon our will and desire to serve and to love that we gain too great a sense of the goodness of our efforts and ourselves, and end up feeling prideful about our walk. This sets us up to defend the self. This is a very easy error to make. As long as you think that you have a self that you need to defend, you shall be working with spiritual pride. And so entities, for the most part, are working with this, no matter how persistently, purely, and devotionally you have sought year after year, yet still there is the sense of, I am searching, I am looking, I am seeking to become the best that I can. Conversely, we have found that coming into a fuller awareness of self is actually a process of subtraction, simplification, and elimination of things from the defended self until finally the self is empty and the barriers are down. In my own life, I have found this to be very true. Gradually, there is less that catches me in the net of contraction and fear. Little by little, I find myself listening as well as defending. One day, I would like to see all those defenses gone, and the need only to love, accept, and forgive. It is a goal I shall probably not meet within this incarnation, yet every tiny drop of fear and tightness that falls away from me feels so wonderfully light and roomy that the quest to let go of more draws me endlessly. Certainly, one key to allowing this gradual release from fear to take place is staying in the present moment. Yesterday's change is moving away, behind you. Tomorrow's change is not imagined. You need only focus upon the present moment as you perceive it. Focusing upon the present moment is not encouraged in this society, and to begin to do so constitutes a major change in one's personal structure and priority of thought and catalyst awareness. For one thing, we are not encouraged to be this fastidious about our thoughts and motivations, but only about our actions. For another, we are taught to seek to reduce discomfort, yet major changes constitute, for most people, enhanced levels of discomfort. Choosing to live devotionally will not simplify our lives in the sense of making them more comfortable, more joyful, yes, more peaceful, yes, but more comfortable, not at all. We will find ourselves transforming if we live in the present moment and the open heart at all, frequently, in many ways, on various levels, at accelerated rates. It is a complex phenomenon, and the process engenders continuing feelings of being a thwart of the society and often of parts of ourselves. Each will be self-disappointed many times. We encourage each to consider that this too is a lovely portion of a process by which change within is achieved. Some things that were priorities will be lost. And as the heart and mind change their habits, that which is old and stale must fall away. This is perceived as painful. Consequently, what we are saying is that along with the flow of living life cooperatively with destiny, there is a continuing discomfort which comes from changing faster than other entities because that is what you wish to do. However, it is a simple choice to make for most who prefer being awake and in the conscious presence of the infinite to being those who are asleep in a dream within the dream of incarnation itself, and do not ask themselves to do aught except flow along the lines of the society. For most wanderers, there is no hope of flowing along the lines of society. We have been unsuccessful, at least in part, at doing that. We have sometimes felt ourselves to be outsiders, our thoughts a little different from the rest of society. Our alienated mindset, whether because of ET origins or because of our awakening to our spiritual identity as Earth natives, takes us to a realm where being an unquestioning and unresisting member of our culture is not an option. I believe that for most of us, the choice to live devotionally, to move into the open heart and its processes, is our good opportunity to develop an acceptable and bearable life on earth. Praise be our one infinite Creator. Praise be the one infinite creation. We thank you, one infinite Creator, for your love. We thank you, one infinite Creator, for the light. All is one.